Welcome to the Brow Report. Is a Tuesday evening edition of the show. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Live on Periscope. Follow us on Periscope by going to Periscope, of course, the app, and follow at Brow Report for the latest news and views that you can use for the Brow Report. Tonight, Chris Berardi is off. He is at a fundraiser tonight, so we'll miss him tonight, but he is always trying to make a difference down in Southwest Florida. Tonight on the show, we had a preview. If you missed the preview by going to facebook.com/Brow Report, you get a preview about half an hour before the show airs, so you can get the information that we're going to be talking about on the show if you want to call in or let us know what's on your mind on the program. Tonight, Hillary's not so forthcoming in her emails. We're going to talk about that tonight on the show. Lawmakers saying the U.S. plan for the internet may be unconstitutional. Oh, really? Unconstitutional? Who would have thought about that? Carly Fiorina's individual mandate. She has a little controversy according to Conservative Review. We're going to discuss that tonight, see if there's really a controversy at all tonight. Donald Trump came out with a tax plan. Everybody's been saying, where's Trump's plan? I mean, he's a very polarizing guy. He's trying to get out the boat. And he actually has come up with a plan. So we're going to discuss that tonight and see what all of you think out there on the Periscope app and on blogtalkradio.com. Also, mayor in Maine posts names of people on he wants to post the names of people on welfare in his town. Democrats are calling this a shame act. We shall see. We'll discuss both sides of that tonight. And at the end of the night, of course, you get your feel-good story of the night. So make sure to share us on Periscope and on blogtalkradio.com. Follow us on Twitter by going to @BrowerReport on Twitter. Follow us there. You'll get the information that comes directly from our Facebook page as well if you're more of a Twitter person. Everybody likes their social media stuff, so we try to be very, I guess you can say, all over the place on social media. So you get the latest news and views that you can use on the Brow Report. All right. So if you want to give us a call tonight, feel free, 347-884-8627. We'd love to hear from you tonight on the program, all things politics on the show. So let's talk about, first thing, Hillary Clinton has, in all of her infinite wisdom, because, you know, she's such an accomplished person, she knows everything, apparently. Government finds new emails that Clinton did not hand over. Oh, really? Like we were going to know that. You know, when she said the server was wiped clean. Oh, we wiped it clean. It's gone. You know, we don't know what the server's at. Oh, poor Hillary. You know, it's a vast right-wing conspiracy trying to take you down all the time. But you continue to break laws. Oh. Sorry, folks. If you're watching on the Periscope app, I do need occasional drinks. If you're listening on blogtalkradio.com, if you hear a pause occasionally, it might be taking a sip of a beverage, trying to keep myself going during the show. So feel free to interrupt me by giving a call or tell us what's in your mind on the Periscope app. All right. So the U.S. Defense Department has found an email chain that Hillary Clinton did not give to the State Department. Oh, really? Again? Oh, Hillary Clinton hiding something. She would never hide anything. She's so forthcoming and so ethical and so moral. The State Department said on Friday, despite her saying she had provided all work emails from her time as Secretary of State. The correspondence with General David Petraeus, who was commander of U.S. Central Command at the time, started shortly before she entered office and continued during her first days as the top U.S. diplomat in January and February of 2009. The Defense Department provided the emails to the State Department in the last several days. State Department spokesman John Kirby said in a statement, the exchange of 10 or so emails, the existence of which were first reported by the Associated Press on Friday, largely dealt with personal issues according to the State Department. Clinton's use of private email accounts connected to the server in her home instead of a government-issued email address came by in March. Here's the thing, folks. Why in the hell do you need a private server? She's like, oh, because my yoga classes, like Hillary Clinton yoga pants, give me a break. Come on now, kids. Let's be real here. She is not probably doing yoga in the, and I'll break it down for you. Yoga pants are typically reserved for women, maybe in their 20s, 30s, even 40s, typically physically fit, attractive. Okay, Hillary Clinton's almost 70 years old. Do you really want to know about Hillary Clinton's yoga pants or her yoga schedule? Not really. So why did Hillary Clinton decide to put all of her personal emails into this server, into this wonderful server? It's probably because she wanted to intertwine everything. She wanted to intertwine everything. Because just like, oh, don't worry about this stuff. You know, you say, you need, all of you vast right-wing conspiracy people need to stay out of my life. Stay out of my personal business. Well, Hillary, we would stay out of your personal business, except you mix business with pleasure. You mix everything up into one vast left-wing conspiracy of your server. So if you want us to stay out of your personal life, get your personal life outside of your business life. And think about this. Why would you want to give up the ability to use a hardened server, a hardened network to actually do your government business? I would personally, if I was dealing with top state secrets, and she says, oh, nothing was top secret. We're finding out some of these things. We're getting the details. The FBI is investigating to find out what's really in these emails and if they were top secret or not. And how would she know? She's on a BlackBerry. A BlackBerry. Okay, let's break this down for you. A BlackBerry. Okay, I haven't used a BlackBerry, but I've seen them before. They have the little buttons. It's not like a flat screen like an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy or whatever you're using. It has like little buttons so you actually feel them. When I was trying to think about buying my first real smartphone several years back, I was thinking BlackBerry, iPhone. I was thinking iPhone, like, that screen's going to get dirty all the time. It's going to be smudgy, blah, blah, blah. Then I was convinced to get an iPhone. I'm glad I did. But here's the thing with BlackBerry. Can you really look at files really well on a BlackBerry? Can you, if you're watching Periscope, can you do this and open up the file? Can you? And T-Mobile says, iPad, iPhone, and BlackBerry are hard to keep track of. Here's the thing. With Hillary, why wouldn't she want to be on the hardened network? Here's the key. What was she hiding? Ooh, interesting, right? What would she possibly be hiding if she wanted to be on a private server? So was she sending emails that should not be being sent and she wanted to keep them kind of off the record from the government server? So she used her own server. So here's the kicker. She's the Secretary of State. So who signed off on her to be allowed to use a private server? Was it herself? I mean, that's not really keeping things in check and checks and balances, right? Did the Vice President sign off? Did President Obama sign off? Who signed off on this private server for Hillary Rodham Clinton? I'm very curious. I would like to know who allowed this to happen. Who, in their infinite wisdom, and their almighty wisdom of all things politics, said it was okay for her to use a private server? Who signed off on it? Who signed off on it? And if she signed off on it, I mean, there's going to be some checks and balances here, folks. She's using something that has possible top secrets going through. Now, here's the thing. She says, oh, well, I wouldn't have something top secret through my emails. Okay. Is there something in the subject line that says top secret email? Is there these code words or code names that you wouldn't open up? How about she accidentally opened up an email? Does that open up her to perjury because she lied saying she did not have any emails? She might have said, I never read an email. Doesn't mean she didn't open an email. You see, it's the definition of what is, as Bill Clinton would say. These typical politicians that continue to lie and cheat and steal from the American people. And Hillary Clinton's one of them. And I saw this article that came out. It came across my social media feed this week. Hillary Clinton was accused, and I think they didn't convict her of it, but they made her bring it back, to have $200,000 worth of things for the White House, including china, furniture, all sorts of different stuff. I guess because she was flat broke, she needed to make sure her homes had things to be put in, because when she was flat broke leaving the White House, she couldn't afford her quote-unquote homes. Remember, folks, most people in this country, some people don't even have a house. They don't have a mortgage. We're talking about things. So some people have homes, mortgages. They may live in a one-bedroom studio apartment. And Hillary Clinton saw what she's flat broke leaving the White House. Bill Clinton, while serving president, was making around $400,000 a year. Presidency, 8 years, he made $3.2 million. So tell me again, Hillary, you want to be president of the United States, okay? So you and your husband Bill cannot even manage your finances for $3.2 million plus room, board, food, travel expenses, security. All these things were paid by the taxpayer, and you're dead broke leaving the White House. Doesn't sound very legit. So I think Hillary Clinton has a big time trust issue, as we can say. So I'm going back to the article because I really like talking about Hillary Clinton. She's really spot on. She's awesome, you know. All right, Clinton's use of her private email account connected to a server of her home instead of a government-issued email address came back, late in March. News of previously undisclosed email thread only adds to a steady stream of revelations about the emails over the last 6 months, which have forced Clinton to revise her account of the setup, which she first gave in March. Here's the thing. Hillary Clinton's got to have lawyers or attorneys. Hillary Clinton was once an attorney. Do you really want to elect another attorney to office? Think about that for a second. Not really. So Hillary Clinton, is an attorney. So you would think she would talk to other attorneys and find out what the deal is. What ask some advice. Hey, I got this private email server. Blah blah blah. I need some advice. So you're telling me all these people that surround her, all these smart attorneys, all these people with, master's degrees and law degrees and probably PhDs can't give her any solid advice? I mean, is she just this narcissistic to not take advice from people? Because I'm telling you right now, if I was Secretary of State or President or any high-ranking level politician, I would ask the questions of very smart people to find out what's going on. Apparently, Hillary Clinton can't ask the questions, or she refuses to ask the questions, and she just tries to play dumb all the time. That answer she had the other day, a few weeks ago, about you're talking about me wiping the server, wiping the server clean with a rag or a cloth. Here's the thing. Would you want to elect Hillary Clinton as President of the United States after that dumb comment? Come on. People say, I want to see the first woman President of the United States. Okay, do you want a liberal Democrat moron as your first woman president? I can think of a lot better women that could represent the United States much better than her. Remember when Hillary Clinton had that falling problem? Remember that? Remember she had that falling, when she started falling down and stuff? And her health came into an issue. You don't hear that anymore. I guess it's that because they needed her to testify before Congress. Also, she was having strokes and having drunken stupors and falling downstairs. So I'm trying to figure this out. Why does anyone want to vote for Hillary Clinton as president in a primary, much less as in a general election for president of the United States? I talked to someone I have high respect for in my daily comings and goings through my town, and he says he's voting for Hillary Clinton. Now, he's a Democrat, and I'm like, I kind of want to put him on the spot. I'll put him on the spot one day. Maybe I'll even have him, call into the show and explain himself. But why would you want to vote for someone like Hillary Clinton? Democrats are always accusing the Republican Party of being the party of old white men and old white people. Hillary Clinton's almost 70 years old. Look at the Democrats right now. Just Google Democrat presidential candidates. Who are they? All old white people. Seriously, that's what they're putting up there. They have no blacks, African Americans, no Asians, no Hispanics. It's I guess there's no color, they say. So I'm asking the question here: why in the world would the Democrats ever accused of the Republican Party of not being inclusive. Ben Carson, black. Carly Fiorina, white, woman. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Hispanic origins. And we have white people. We have a plethora of Republican candidates from a wide backgrounds. We have former executives, current executives, business owners, career politicians. We have a neurosurgeon. We have all sorts of different people out there that are actually good candidates. So tell me again, why in the world would we want to vote for a old white woman like Hillary Clinton that's full of scandals? Did you know she was one of the attorneys for the Watergate situation with Nixon? Yeah, it turns out she had some ethics violations. It was actually kicked off. Fun fact. We had Whitewater. We had all sorts of different things. And Democrats always talk about big business is bad, corporations are bad. Do you know the Clintons sat on the board of Walmart? Oh, but they won't mention that because they don't want to be involved with Walmart because Walmart has so many issues. They don't pay their employees enough. They don't have the best health care, blah, blah, blah. But they will never mention that the Clintons sat on the board for Walmart. Walmart from Arkansas, So, very interesting stuff right there. So don't vote for Hillary Clinton because, you're going to vote for scandals. Unless you like that show Scandal. There's a show called Scandal. I don't know if it's even on the air anymore. Maybe it is. I don't know. But people talked about Scandal for a while. If you want scandal, just look at DC. That's full of scandal. I mean, that's a reality show that affects your lives. Stop watching Dancing with the Stars and American Idol and all these garbage shows that are scripted. Real Housewives and all these weird shows of women screaming at each other. If I want to see women screaming at each other, I would just look at Hillary Clinton probably screaming at reporters. That's reality TV, folks. So Hillary Clinton is in some serious trouble once again with the feds. Are we expecting an arrest of Hillary Clinton? I would certainly like to see that happen. But we shall see with Hillary Clinton if that will happen anytime soon. Who knows? Who knows? So let's move on to Washington Examiner had an article. Lawmakers' U.S. plan for internet may be unconstitutional. Okay, I'm always wondering about this. So, lawmakers say U.S. plan for internet may be unconstitutional. Oh, really? Just like Obamacare is unconstitutional. The gay marriage thing was unconstitutional. And here's the thing, folks. When you're going to the gay marriage issue, just on a side note here, the Supreme Court did not create a law. They were looking at an interpretation of a law. So, if you want to create a law, create a law. And I mean, I've talked about this shit before. We could have fixed this thing years ago. But you know what? They want controversy. And whenever you talk about social issues, it deflects from the real issue, which is the fiscal responsibility of our government. The social issues will fix themselves eventually. They honestly will. They always do. I mean, people get their quote-unquote rights all the time. But all they do is deflect from the real situation, which is our economy. Here's the thing. If the economy tanks tomorrow, your marriage, your right to marry or your right to all these different things aren't going to matter because you'll have no money. Here's the thing. Economic freedom is the basic freedom that creates a democracy or a republic. If you have no economic freedom, the government controls everything. You live in a communist regime. Right? China, Venezuela, Cuba, you name it. We can name countries forever and a day that do this all the time. So economic freedom is the basis for everything. So let's talk about the internet. So President Obama's plan to internationalize the internet may be unconstitutional, key members of Congress are claiming. Of course, if President Obama's got a pen and a phone, of course he's going to do something, right? This is what he does. He'll make a phone call where he'll sign some bills or some executive orders. He won't sign bills because that's just too much. Signing an actual budget, not Obama's game. Remember years ago when Obama, I think his first budget, I think it was 2009 or 2010. He proposed a budget and gave it to the Senate. And guess what the Senate did? 99-0, killed it. Killed it on impact. It was like the meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs hit Obama that one time. So if you think Obama, here's the thing: if you really wanted to impeach Obama, you probably could. But I always say, and I tell this to people all the time. People might look at me sideways, thinking like I'm an alien or something. But I tell people all the time, if you really wanted to impeach President Obama, you could have done it by now. It takes balls and courage. That's what it takes. But here's the thing: look at your representatives, whether Republican or Democrat. They're probably hanging out with each other, doing their softball games and having their dinners. It's like Real House of Cards, right? If you watch the House of Cards shows, probably Real House of Cards. Hanging out with each other, making backroom deals, smoking cigars, having a scotch here or there. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with, hanging out and talking about things and, being friendly sometimes. But it comes down to, are you really looking out for the American people? I give you a answer of no, they're not. So tell me, has your representative done anything lately to really help you? Have they? I don't think so. I have a congressman here in my district in Florida 15. He doesn't like me that much. Where? Crimea River. So he, a couple years ago, sorry, side story off the internet, folks. I have to give you the side story because I think it's very important. There was an FAA reauthorization bill that came out, I think it's 2012. It's on my personal Facebook page. I wrote this and tagged a bunch of people, and it got some good responses. It was the drone bill, FAA reauthorization bill of 2012. So I accused my congressman of not reading it, his cronies not reading it, or he frankly didn't give a damn about anybody. It gave the Department of Defense and the FAA to work with civilians in the field to create drones in the United States. And they're like, oh, this is for commercial purposes. Well, okay. And I'll break this down for you. This is a pretty simple concept. I read the damn bill. I read it. I read the bill because it's important. Because do you want someone's drone striking around the United States just for fun? No. But here's the thing. It did not say anything about keeping the military out of it. The Department of Defense was involved. They were involved. And this is about the same time where they're, drone striking American citizens overseas. Remember that? Now, I'm not saying they're not bad guys. They had it coming to them probably. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When they drone strike these guys, they're drone striking them in populated areas. Of course, they're terrorists. They're going to surround themselves with civilians. So if you wonder why we keep on pissing off people in the Middle East, do you really want to know? Because we keep on killing innocent people around them all the time. All you're doing is creating more and more terrorists. Simple concept, right? Here's the thing. You kill a bad guy, okay? Head guy, right? I think it's Al-Awlaki or something like that. So they killed him. They killed him in this little cafe or something, internet cafe, or he's drinking a latte or something. They drone strike him in the Middle East. They kill him, okay? And they're celebrating, we killed him, and he's an American citizen with no trial. I mean, they even tried to capture him. They knew exactly where he was at, and they didn't try to pick him up. They shot a missile and blew up him and a bunch of other people with him. And they killed a bunch of innocent people. So do you think those families really appreciate the United States killing a terrorist? And I'm not trying to degrade the Obama administration for doing it. I'm not trying to say it was the wrong thing or right thing. I'm trying to give you both sides of the story. The one side of the story is, if you kill 20 innocent people that just happen to be there, those are family members of other people. And all they hear on the news is the United States of America flew over another sovereign nation and shot a missile and killed a bunch of people. That's what they did. And guess what we get? The American people, a damn bad rap for it. If you want, and here's the key thing. President Obama's always wanted to put these assholes on trial, and I'll say it right now. This is what he wants to do. He wants to put them in, like, New York City and put them on trial. He wants to put them on in a civilian trial. So you're telling me, President Obama, you want to put them all on trial. Okay? You want to put them on trial, but you'll still drone strike them if you can't get a hold of them. That makes a whole lot of sense. I don't get that. Just the hypocrisy of President Obama just is beyond comprehension. He says one thing, does the other. I just can't, do the illegal immigration. I can't make illegals legal. It's unconstitutional. I don't have the constitutional authority. I just don't have it. Remember that for years and years? Then he just does it. All of a sudden, he had the constitutional authority to do whatever he wanted. Doesn't make any sense. So these lawmakers are scared about the internet, right? They say it might be unconstitutional. We live in an unconstitutional republic right now, where we have a dictator that does whatever he wants. And the Republicans have got no courage, no balls, and no morals or ethics to stop him. If you wanted to impeach President Obama, you could have done it. That 99-0 thing that occurred in the Senate may have been just a signal saying, if President Obama gets out of control, we got your back. Because he has to be tried He gets tried in the Senate. So, the President Obama is doing whatever he wants. So, it says a group of lawmakers sent a letter to the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, last week, saying the plan to relinquish oversight of internet domain names functions to a global, multi-stakeholder body raised questions about the administration's authority to transfer possession and control of critical components of the internet's infrastructure to a third party. It's kind of like the Federal Reserve of internet. So you're going to give a third party the authority to run the internet, much like the third party of the Federal Reserve is allowed to print and make money. How's that worked out for you, folks? Has that really worked out for you really well? No. T-Mobile 88, Obama would threaten a shutdown if they tried to impeach him, though. Of course, he would threaten. That's just the irony right there. He's always threatening, say the Republicans are going to do Republicans say we're going to do a shutdown. What happens? They shut it down for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and guess what happens? Here's what happens in the end, folks. The people that weren't getting paid get paid anyways. So your shutdown really didn't work out. Because what they do is, it's a shell game. It is a show. It is always a show. It's always a show. They will say, oh, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to shut down the government because we're in a little hissy fit right now. So what they do is when they do the authorization bill for the new budget, they sneak in some amendments because they're going to sneak this amendment saying, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to sneak this little amendment in real quick to make sure everybody that lost that 2 weeks of pay or that month of pay gets paid. So did the shutdown really do anything? Because everybody got paid? Everybody got paid. So do the congressmen not get paid? Do the senators not get paid? Of course they get paid. Because they're essential workers. They're part of the essential workforce. And people always talk about their pay being high. I don't think their pay is really that high. If you consider the cost of living in D.C., it's really ridiculous. But it's shady stuff, folks. Once you understand that the shadiness that's going on, if you have ever worked closely with someone working for Congress or really understand what's going on and see the dirtiness that's going on, if you haven't done that yet, oh my God, I encourage you to get involved. See how bad it really is. See the low-life scumbags that are running for office, trying to destroy your candidates, trying to bait you in on Twitter. And going back to the wonderful congressman from Florida 15 with that authorization bill, I was called crazy, a kook. I needed to shut my mouth. I didn't know what I was talking about, but I just simply said, did you read the bill? I had to get a yes or no answer because apparently he did not read the bill. just from my assumption, because you can't answer it. But he sent one of his staffers after me on Twitter, on Facebook, saying I didn't know what I was talking about. I was just simply asking a question. If simply asking a question of your representative is causing a response for someone to attack you. Now keep in mind, folks, I'm a pretty outspoken person on social media. I kind of stir it up a little bit because I'm asking questions. While some people are scared to ask the questions, I am not scared to ask the questions because I think the people deserve some real solid answers. Whether the people realize it or not, there's a few people out there that frankly care. They care still. I'm one of them. And people that work with the program care as well. We want answers. If we ask a valid question, we deserve an answer. And T. Mobley says, tin cap right-wing conspiracy. Yeah, and it says, just kidding. Yeah, it's not a bastard right-wing conspiracy because here's the Republicans and the Democrats are both in on it. They're both in on it. So going back to this internet thing, they're talking about giving the internet to a third party, which is not created as of yet, but I'm sure they'll figure out a really great board of members that can get this done and have a 12-member panel or a 10-member panel, and they can decide of all things that happen on the internet. They'll just say, oh, we have to have equal time. So the Brown Report's very conservative and right-leaning. So I think Brown Report needs to host left-wing people on the show to give a fair and balanced account of what's going on out there. And if he doesn't want to do it, we'll just shut him down. Now, folks, I'm not a Sean Hannity or Rush Limbaugh by any means or Mark Levin. Come on, give me a break. I'm not. I can admit that. But think about it. If everything was 50-50, everything was equal, that's communism, folks. If you're just trying to make everything equal, eventually they're going to try to silence out the critics. Think about it. Fox News, a conservative media outlet, typically right-leaning, has very high ratings. CNN, MSNBC, typically lower ratings, left-leaning. MSNBC, very left-leaning, and they have the worst ratings of them all. So tell me again, we've got plenty of news outlets out there for choices. They just can't get anybody to watch. They just can't get, they're not, I guess, entertaining. That's what it comes down to, entertainment. And I've said this over and over again. I got to say it again and again and again because it's so important. I need to beat this into everybody's heads on the show. Whether you listen to Blog Talk Radio, watch on YouTube or on Periscope, I got to beat this into everybody's heads again. If you're watching and it seems like it's entertainment, it is. The debates are entertainment. Think about it. CNN hosted a 3+ hour debate for the top contenders and about an hour and a half debate for the lower 5 or 6. Okay? So you're looking at all this time. What are they doing? They're selling the ads to keep you entertained. It's like the Romans. Are you not entertained? It's like the gladiators. Are you not entertained? That's what they're doing. They're looking for money. And frankly, if you think they really care about the future of this country before their pockets, you are sadly mistaken. And I'll say it right now on the record, that these media outlets, all they care about is money. Money. How can they line their pockets? Go to their websites, okay? And I'm going to say this. And if you get something, you need to share this. If you go to any website, okay, think about it. News outlet, political websites, all these different, you see a lot of these clickbait sites popping up on social media, Facebook and Twitter a lot of times. They have like conservative in it. And I'm not talking about conservativerefocus.com. Barry is a great guy. But all these different websites of Tea Party, Conservative, Red, all these different websites that have these names in them. I'm not saying they're all bad, but when you click on them, are you getting a lot of like Google ad pop-ups? Are you getting a lot of ads, some weird freaky ads like Oprah, Clinique are no longer together because of the secret thing that Oprah did. If you're looking at these things and you see these weird ads, like these Google AdSense ones, think about it. They're making money. It's about making money. It's not about telling you the truth. It's about giving you a really cool title to get you to click on something. Now, on BrownReport.com, we do have engaging titles because we want you to read the stuff. But one thing you're going to get about on our website, you're not going to get any rush. You're going to get all these little ad-laden websites. there's a game to making money. In a lot of these websites, newspaper websites, Fox News, CNN, all these major websites, they have ads all over them because they're getting impressions. They're trying to make money. I get it. But when they're more interested about the money than the future of our country, you need to really look hard and deep for the truth. That's what I'm asking you to do. Look for the truth. That's what I want you to look for. Look for the truth. All right. So this letter about this internet takeover thing they're trying to do, the letter was signed by the chairman of both congressional judiciary committees, Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican of Iowa, Representative Bob Gaudet, Republican of Virginia, presidential candidate Senator Ted Cruz, and Representative Darrell Issa, Republican of California. He's also former chairman of House Oversight Committee. The lawmakers point out that the Constitution says Congress has the exclusive power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory of other property belonging to the United States. So, if you give up all these things to a third party, very scary stuff. And that's when you start getting the censorship that could be very scary for our country, our freedom of speech. And that's just my take on it. I think it's a terrible idea to outsource our sovereignty to any third party, much less our internet. The internet is not a utility, folks. It is a vast amount of information, and unfortunately, in a lot of cases, a vast amount of misinformation. But I don't think it should be regulated at all. Let's go to Carly Fiorina. Conservative Review. I like the website. I do. I can say I pull some good things on Conservative Review at times. But Carly Fiorina, she's had some concerning stuff going on as of late with her. I'm not saying I don't like her 100%. I can't say I like her 100%. But it seems like a lot of these people, they're trying to tear her down. Well, she's on the up and up, you know. Some of the candidates, they don't like it because she's surging the polls. She went from like almost dead last to like third or fourth in most of the polls. I see that's good for her. But I'm very concerned. She's not a politician, but she's a really good debater. But here's the thing. When you're a CEO, you go in boardrooms, you go before thousands of people at these annual meetings. That's a politician. I mean, it's a corporate politician. She's probably worked with representatives and senators and trying to influence them through her lobbying and PACs. I get that. That's what good business people do. Now, she made some bad business decisions. Yes, she did. And we know the business record. Now, is it all her fault 100%? Probably not. There's other people that work with a corporation that were trying to implement, and maybe they fell flat on their face too. There's just not enough time in the day to dig through everything. So when it comes down to the CEO takes the blame. The person in charge, the manager, the person in charge, it comes down to them at the very end of the day. So, but I've seen this thing with her lately about this individual mandate thing. So, Chris Jacobs from Conservative Review wrote this article. It says, while the political classes focused their attention on Speaker Boehner's surprise resignation Friday morning, it wasn't really a surprise. Come on, guys. Come on. Another political candidate conducted a quick about-face. Early Friday morning, Carly Fiorina announced on her campaign's Facebook page that she's no longer supported an individual mandate to purchase health insurance. However, from the perspective of both constitutional and health policy, her new statements raises more questions than it does answers. So she was for an individual mandate. Now, I'm going to explain this in a pure form. Okay, in a perfect world, everybody should get health insurance. Okay, it spreads the risk pool around. I'm in insurance. I understand it. So if you had 330 million people involved in the risk pool, it makes it a little bit easier to, cover the people that need help the most. In a perfect world, unfortunately, we live in a world full of humans that are not perfect. So, Carly Fiorina probably said, as a CEO, as a corporation, probably, offering health insurance, she had a bigger risk pool, probably of over 100,000 people. We have a risk pool that high, of course, providing the health insurance, the cost does go down because you have more people involved, more people paying in to help the people that are sick, and you might even, make a little, I would say make money on it, but it's a much better risk pool. So if you had 2,000 people get sick out of over 100,000, only 2% have major medical issues, the other 98% cover the major issues. So it's still solvent. So the corporation puts in their amount, the employee puts in their amount, everybody's hunky-dory, people get taken care of, awesome. The problem is in the United States, we have a problem of lazy people. There's some lazy people out there. There's people that would rather live off the system than actually participate in it because the Democrats and Republicans for decades have been in on this and they have allowed it to occur. When you have 94 million people that don't work in the United States, it's a very scary proposition. Now, not all people can work right now. I get that. I 100% understand it. But that number is absolutely staggering. So Carly Fiorina probably, and I'm not trying to put words in her mouth here, or online, but I think that the intention in its purest form would be everybody should, not necessarily be mandated, but should take the personal responsibility to buy health insurance, just in case. The personal responsibility portion of it. But, as we've discussed, a lot of people are not personally responsible for themselves, so who gets screwed over? The taxpayer, the people that have the health insurance with higher cost. The hospitals write off all their taxes, they write it off, and they increase prices, which hurts insurance for the people that have it, and their insurance premiums go up, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Simple economics, right? And we talked about it on the show before, so if you haven't listened to the show, this is your first time watching or listening, go to the past shows. We talk about this a lot, about the personal responsibility and economics, how it ties together. So, questionable alternatives, and this goes on to read. In her post, Ms. Fiorina stated that since supporting a mandate in a 2013 CNN appearance, conservative healthcare experts have come up with significantly better alternatives to Obamacare, including representative prices and Governor Walker's, to name a couple. As a result, Ms. Fiorina said, I do not believe we need a mandate of any kind to cover individuals with pre-existing conditions. The logic fails on multiple fronts. Her Friday statement does not explain why, when asked the CNN last week to clarify her 2013 comments, her campaign reiterated its support for a mandate that would require high deductible, catastrophic care insurance plans, nor does it explain the fact of high-risk pools, a solution Ms. Fiorina also articulated in 2013 appearance, and I watched this video before, folks, can provide quality coverage for individuals with pre-existing conditions, meaning Ms. Fiorina never even needed to contemplate the mandate she previously supported. Now, Carly Fiorina, remember, and she ran a major corporation. Now, here's the thing: when you get liberal, talking head, left-leaning interviewers, they will bait you in to get you to say something that you may mean one way, but if you do not clarify your statement, they will use it against you for years to come. Now, you've got, and I would think that Carly Fiorina would have been a little bit more careful dealing with a left-leaning CNN reporter. You would think she would, but apparently she did not take that into account in this situation. So, Ms. Fiorina, she really needs to. She's not the front runner, but she's in the top tier right now. Just a piece of advice for Carly Fiorina. If you're watching Carly, thanks for watching. If you're not, you're losing now. It's a great advice today. So, if I was Carly Fiorina's advisor, I'd say, listen, Carly, you've got to really watch what you're saying here. Your words, even though your intentions may be great, your words will be construed as something else. If you want to be a politician, President of the United States, or a VP or Secretary of State, or whatever your true goal is at the end of the day, you need to really watch what you say. Make sure to be clear in your intentions of what you're saying. And when I advise Nick Wilkerson and his campaign. I was his campaign director. I always advise them, make sure that you are very clear in what you're saying. Do not leave anything for chance when you're going out there in a debate over reform. Don't let people wonder what your intention is. Always clearly say your intention. Now, Democrats never clearly say their intention because they're shady. I don't know how to say it, they're shady. But when a Republican doesn't say exactly what they should be, what their intent is, they are the ones that get on YouTube videos and sound bites all the time. So I always advise anyone running for office, make sure you're absolutely clear on what your intentions are and what you're saying. Do not leave anything to chance, anything for any kind of interpretation besides what you really mean. And Carly Fiorina, I'm not saying she meant it, she didn't mean it. Just a good piece of advice for someone that really gets it. Make sure your intentions are crystal clear on what you're saying. Do not let someone slip up. And T-Mobile says, biased media always helps Democrats' side of politics. Of course. They're left-leaning. Even Fox News, sometimes, like Bill O'Reilly, will try to talk over the person he's interviewing. Or Sean Hannity. And I like the guys. I think the guys do a pretty 85-90% quality job of informing the people what's going on. Now remember, they're about ratings and money, so you will get some entertaining stuff out of them. You'll get some entertaining stuff on this show as well, because I want to make sure that you're engaged and enjoy the show. But we've got to really start thinking, if Carly Fiorina really wants to be president of the United States, she needs to step up that game a little bit higher. A little bit higher. If you want to make sure that your message is crystal clear, step it up. And you would think some of these candidates would get that. You would, even Jeb Bush, folks. Why Jeb Bush looks like he's amateur hour. I mean, I'm not a politician. I think I can do a better job than Jeb Bush is doing right now. I'll tell you exactly what's on my mind. Now, I will make sure it's very clear what's on my mind. I think Donald Trump kind of has that. Very brash, very open. But even with Donald Trump, he doesn't really give you all the information you need as well. Now, he does give you some entertainment, right? Because he's an actor. He's an actor. He's also a CEO of a major corporation, Trump International. But remember, folks, if we want someone to be president of the United States, make sure they have a clear message of what their intentions are. Not just a message of what is, but how they're exactly going to do it. And we have 10 or 11 or 16 people on a stage. Best of luck trying to get a clear message, because remember, folks, these debates and these forums, major ad revenue coming out of them. If you think that they really want these candidates to get their message out there, especially CNN, they don't want a Republican president necessarily. They might want a left-leaning Jeb Bush or something in there. But you got to look at their intentions. Always see their intentions. And if they're not crystal clear, you got a good plan. Now, is their plan perfect? No. Will the plans need to be tweaked? Yes. But give us something to chew on. Give us some substance. Give us some substance. We're begging you. So, Carly Fiorina, just a little bit of helpful advice. Be a little bit more clear and don't let someone trip you up if you mean to say something specific. They will eat your words alive and eat you alive, and we will talk about you in the Brower Report. But that's just our advice tonight for that. Next, we're getting close to the feel-good story of the day. That will be coming up at the end of the show. But Donald Trump came out with his tax plan. You know, it's not one of those basic, I'm going to build a wall and we'll have a door and people can come through whenever they, the good ones can come in. Now, I can agree with Trump in some instances in terms of his immigration policy. Here's the thing. People are mad. They're pissed off. They think that they're getting screwed over by the government. And yes, they are getting screwed over, 100%. Democrats and Republicans are in on this. There's some good ones left, but not many. They're getting bought off by major corporations, special interests, the Chamber of Commerce's foreign interest is very much into this. Think about it. The foreign interest money all they do is buy things from big corporations in the United States, and the money somehow gets to whoever it needs to get to. Let's deal with reality here. Oh, there's no foreign money, they can, give. Well, I didn't say directly. I said they will get the money to whoever they want somehow, some way. I'll just pay a little bit too much for this product and make sure that money gets funneled to somebody, to a super PAC or something. If you don't think that's happening, you're living under a damn rock. It's happening. It's shady. Politics is shady all the way around. I'm telling you right now, if you get involved in a campaign like I did, you start seeing just the nastiness, the pettiness, just the lack of morals, lack of ethics, lack of leadership with some of these candidates out there, you're like, oh my God, we are screwed. Because remember, these people are human beings. And their intentions, unfortunately a lot of them, is to get rich quick. You don't see any poor congressmen out there, poor senators. They typically get a lot of money. And you're wondering, how do they get so rich so quick? Sitting on boards, getting consulting money. There's a lot of ways to get rich quick in D.C. So Donald Trump gets his tax proposal, which it's a start. Okay, I'm not saying it's perfect, but at least we're discussing some substance rather than rhetoric, right? We're going to discuss some substance. So I'm pulling this from Donald Trump's website because I want to make sure I'm not pulling from some other website. I want to make sure that people understand this is coming directly from his website. Tax reform, security, and prosperity. The first priority of the government of the United States is to be able to provide security for its people. I agree with that. Security includes removing uncertainty and making sure that the economic future of the country is assured through better deals, smarter trade agreements, and tax policies that unburden the middle class and unleash the private sector. I can agree with that. I can. Now, we're talking about my plan in a few minutes. I think it's much better. So, I skipped down a little bit. The first goal of the plan will provide tax relief. If you're a single person making less than $25,000 or married filing jointly and earning less than $50,000, you will not owe any income tax. This will remove some 75 million households from the income tax rolls. Second, the tax code will be simplified. Instead of tax brackets with multiple variations, like, dear Lord, is this Common Core math? I know. There will be only 4 brackets. 0%, which would probably be up to the 25,000 single, 50,000 joint married. 10%, 20%, and 25%. This new code eliminates the marriage penalty and the alternative minimum tax while providing the lowest tax rate since before World War II. Furthermore, this plan eliminates the death tax, thus allowing families to keep what has been earned. The death tax is one of the worst taxes. So you worked your whole lifetime to pass it on to your family members, and the government gets most of it. Complete garbage. Complete garbage. So it reads on, and here's the thing: we don't know. We see the brackets, but we're not really seeing. I mean, we get a little taste of it. Okay, so we got 0, 10, 20, and 25. But he's not telling us where the 10 cuts off. It's because it cuts off at 100,000, 150,000. Where are these brackets at? I mean, you gave us some brackets. I mean, you gave us the low ones in terms of 25,000 to 50,000. I get that one. But where's the other brackets? I want to understand where my family's going to be at. Because here's the thing. Let's say, just for instance, your family makes $200,000 a year, and you're in the 20% tax bracket. Okay, you're in 20% tax. So you're gonna pay $40,000. But the next tax bracket is $25,000 at $250,000. So you're looking at, and I'm gonna do my handy dandy calculator because I want to make sure that you get the exact amounts because I think that's only fair. So if you do $250,000, okay, at 25%. You'll be owing $62,500 if you're at the $250,000 bracket. So you're looking at quite a bit of a hike if you hit the $250,000 mark. Now, would this be a system where you pay 20% up to the $249,999, then you pay 25% on it after? I don't know. This plan is very generic, in my opinion. Very generic. Here's the thing. I'm more of a, let's screw the brackets. Why do we need brackets? Why do we need class warfare with this? It's still difficult. It's like if you're a small business owner, you're making $230,000 a year. As a small business owner, really want to make $250,000 and get nailed with $30,000 more dollars in taxes? So you work so much harder and you have to pay more. See where I'm coming from? It still doesn't make any sense. Go for a flat tax of 15% or whatever you say it needs to be. Go to a fair tax, do a national sales tax. Get rid of all the other stuff. Get rid of all of the tax credits and whatever. The child tax credit, which is complete garbage. You know, I call it the breeding deduction. Oh, so you had a kid, you breed and you have kids, so you get a tax deduction. What is this? Thanks, George. And I think George W. was a big culprit in expanding that. But why are we giving tax breaks for having kids? I don't get that. So if you can't afford your kids, you keep having more and more kids, you get more and more tax breaks. Doesn't make much sense. And that's typically used for people middle income, middle class, low income poverty. So you're getting a tax break. It's really not much of a tax break. Sure, I've got a kid, I'll take it. I'm not going to say, hey, I'm not going to take it. But I think it's, why are we, playing this game of, you breed, you get tax breaks. I mean, that's terrible. I don't like that one bit. I'm thinking, let's go for a fair tax or a flat tax. I don't know. You know what? I don't even like the flat tax per se, because you still gotta talk to the IRS. I mean, I still don't like that. I like the national retail sales tax because it gets people of all demographics. It gets illegals. It gets criminals. Everybody paying a retail sales tax gets caught into the system finally. So the drug dealers, the pimps, the prostitutes, the criminals, the organized crime that spends retail money somewhere, I think that might be the best way. Now, if someone can give me a better way, sure. Let's have an intense discussion about taxation in this country. Before we had the income tax, we had roads, we had schools, we had a military. People were taken care of by local people. We had hospitals, we had doctors, we had cars. We started having planes back then. We had the things that made our country still great, right? I mean, we had those things. So we have progressively, unfortunately, increased the tax system, made it so complicated. If you're, I think, 70,000 plus pages, why is it got to be so complicated? If you know why, and I'll tell you, it's about the control. If you make something so complex, people will start missing their deductions, which means the government gets to take more of your money. And your congressman or senator's like, I have this great idea for a deduction. We're going to create this deduction. If you're born on, September 30th, and your first name starts with a Y and your last name starts with a B, you qualify for a tax break. But you would never know about it because it's on page 69,900 of the tax code, buried somewhere. And it was some favor for some major corporation or something, and they know about the tax loophole because it's in the tax code, but you don't know about it as a small business owner. So you're screwed, right? So these little nuggets that are hidden, they are created, and it's simple. When you have a complicated tax code like this, it's so complicated They're hiding these little nuggets in there because they're kickbacks and favors for their donors. And T-Mobile 88 says almost everyone is breaking the law with the IRS. Yes! So what can they do to you? They can audit you, charge you interest and penalties because you broke the tax code law. But unknowingly doing it. Hell, who can get it right? No one gets it right. Here's the fun fact. Did you know there's people that work for the IRS that actually owe money to the IRS? Yes, it's true. Look it up. People that work for the IRS or the federal government owe money to the federal government or the IRS. Simple. They do. So tell me, they work for the IRS and they still can't get it right. Remember Geithner, he used to be the Treasury Secretary? He couldn't get his taxes right. Remember TurboTax Geithner? He couldn't even get his stuff right. And he was the head of the Treasury. He can't even get it right. That's how insane and out of control it's really gotten in this country. We need one page. Simple. National sales tax. You got a small business? You take it. Small businesses take in the percentage of the income, the sales tax, and send it to the government. So the only people that are really on the hook are the businesses to collect the money for the government and give it to the government. Simple. Simplest way to do it. Here's the thing. It's easier to say there's a 20% sales tax. So if the government tried to raise it 21%, you'd be like, oh, hell no, we're not doing that. Certainly living within your means. So it's people say you miss it, in your paycheck, but you get used to it. But if they charge you extra, look at these sales tax ordinances in jurisdictions. Look at for a second. They put it to a vote. You know what they say? Live within your means. Screw you guys. They generally say, screw the government. We're not paying any more taxes. Live within your means. Cut back somewhere. We're giving you X of millions or billions of dollars. Figure it out. Figure it out. But here's the thing. Do you think the government really wants a fair tax or a flat tax? Hell no, they don't. They don't want that stuff. They want control. Remember, if it's something simple, who has the control? The people have the control. Why do you think the Constitution was like 3 pages long? Keeping it simple. Really simple. If we can live by the Constitution, life is simple. People can live their lives without the threat of the government becoming a tyranny on their lives. But you can create these agencies like the IRS and the EPA and all these different agencies to make your life a living hell. You're walking on glass every day. You're breaking a law probably right now. So, these politicians talk about fair tax and flat tax. If they're talking about a flat tax, they still want the IRS in business. Keep that in mind. Now, I'm not saying they're bad by thinking about a flat tax, but the IRS is still in business. You need something more like a fair tax to put the IRS out of business. But remember, IRS agents, I'm not saying they're all bad. Remember, IRS agents, the people in charge of the IRS, do not want to give up power or their jobs. Remember, if you shut down the IRS, all those people lose their jobs pretty much. And remember, they'll look out for number one, which is themselves. So keep that in mind the next time you hear about taxes. They're looking out for themselves. Hey, let's see. We got one more story from the Feel Good Story of the day. This one got a little bit of traction on the Facebook.com/BarReport page. Not as much as I thought, but hey. In an effort to implement welfare reform, Mayor Robert McDonald of Lewiston, Maine, wants to post the names of everyone on welfare online. He says the public has a right to know which of their neighbors they are supporting. And they asked, do you agree with this? We created a graphic, and you would think more people would get involved with this. There's two sides to this story. One, there's millions upon millions of people bleaching off the welfare system. That they have no intentions of getting jobs, no intentions of getting in the workforce, and don't really provide anything to society, except for maybe having kids for tax credits, or they are just they have no intention of doing anything with their lives. Now, if you have no intention of doing anything with your lives, okay, fine and dandy, but I should. T Mobley 88, really hilarious. Say it must be a bad graphic designer. Don't think it's really the graphic designer's fault in that case. But this guy, he's trying to bring up something kind of with what Donald Trump did with the immigration issue. We're creating a conversation. Now, look at your local grocery store. Look who's got the EBT cards. And you're like, how would I recognize an EBT card, Matthew? It's pretty simple. Most states have like an American flag on it. Here in Florida, we have an American flag on it. Now, some credit unions or banks may have it, so don't think that it's necessarily every one of them. But you can identify the cards very easily. They have to use PIN numbers as well. So they can actually pull cash off the cards, and they have been notoriously used in the past at strip clubs, pulling cash out. Because, the strippers, they're single moms and they need to pull cash out at the ATM at the strip club. That sounds legit every day of the week. So this mayor in Maine said he wanted to make a difference by, putting the names online. I don't think he's putting addresses where you can actually visit them. But if you had 20 John Smiths, would you really know who that John Smith was? Really? But he wanted to, I don't think this was a public shaming, but sometimes you got to think outside the box to say, hey, listen, we've got a welfare problem in this country. We got too many people living on food for generations. It's either you get in the game, and I'm a compassionate person. Is this the right way to shame people? I don't know. It depends. But if people continue to think that they're going to take, and not have any skin in the game, that's not right. Paying for subsidized housing, food stamps, cash, health insurance, all these things in the name of fighting poverty, but it's really a convenience for people rather than a right. I'm thinking that I've had a plan for many years. I've talked about it on the show so many times. A 2 to 5 year plan. When you're dependent on something like say smoking, drinking, drugs, people are dependent and addicted to welfare programs. Think about it. You go to a national park or park says, don't feed the animals because they may become dependent. Same thing with human beings. We have a dependency problem. Human beings, it could be caffeine, it could be coffee, it could be soda, it could be sugar, it could be so many things we get dependent on, right? Because as human beings, we are naturally prone to addiction. It's a scientific fact. So people get hooked on the welfare. When you're just getting a check cut to you, or they're just paying for your stuff, and you got nothing, you don't have to do anything, you become dependent. It becomes a lifestyle choice. So, a 2 to 5 year plan where the American people get told, hey, we're going to give you, say, 5 years. We got a 5 year plan here. We're going to end welfare as we are in the United States of America. Sorry. But the truly disabled, and we know who they are, will be able to obtain certain benefits to help our most critically needed people get the things that they need. Straight up. That's what we're going to do. But in 5 years, on this date, it ends. Let's say they started January 1st of 2016. By January 1st, 2021, it ends. The welfare state ends in the United States of America. We're gonna help you. We're going to give you job training programs. You got 5 years to get it done. We're going to train you to get jobs for free. We're going to do this as a way to get people back to work. You want a job? We're going to train you. We're going to train you to be plumbers, construction workers, roofers, trade skills. We're going to do it. We're going to get America back to work. We're going to get you a skill so you have no excuse except for your own when you fail. And here's the thing, if you fail in the United States, you can get back up. But we're going to get you trained, get your certificates, and get you in the workforce. And community service as well. While they're in the training programs, community service will be mandatory. That'd be a good start too. You have to do 20 hours of community service at least. Picking up litter, doing something, it has to be documented, no playing games. And if someone's committing fraud, make it jail time. Straight up. We're going to do it right. No more games. Get people back to work. So we're going to do a 5-year program. After the 5 years, hard January 1st, 2021, you're done. No more welfare. We're done. No more food stamps. We're gonna have a fair tax system put into place. Everybody's paying in. Everybody's got skin in the game. And we're gonna do it right. Because we're Americans, we're gonna do it right. No more skating around. But here's the thing, I'm not running for office, folks. So tell me again, where's the common sense solutions of your politicians? There is none, because you know why? It's about control. Republicans and the Democrats, I'll tell you about 99% of them are in on it. So tell me again, why are we not getting common sense solutions? The lobbyists, the corporations, I'm not saying these people are all bad. They're trying to make a living. They're trying to get things passed. They're trying to get things done. I get it. I understand it. Trust me. It's just frustrating as hell when the American people suffer because of common sense solutions cannot get passed. They'll say, Matthew, we can't get it passed. You know what? Grow some balls and just get it done. Tell your representative or your senator, I will find someone to run against your sorry tail and get you removed from office. I will get someone to run and do the right thing. They will not just talk it, they will preach it every day. They will live it every day. And if they don't, we will vote them out too. We will remove them from office. That simple. No more games in the United States of America. We made this country great because we worked, not because we got welfare checks. Could you imagine the 1700s after we won the revolution? A bunch of liberals, it wasn't Washington, D.C. back then, folks, but I think Philadelphia was the capital at that point. Going to Philadelphia saying, oh, we have a bunch of people in poverty. We need to create all these programs where we're going to create an independent bank called the Federal Reserve, put a bunch of money up, create a monstrous debt, and we're going to get loans from Great Britain, because, we just fought them and, won a war against them. We're going to get money from Great Britain so we can feed, house, and clothe the poor, and because it's the right thing to do. People back then probably got shot for saying something like that. That's nuts. But that's the point we're at right now. We are at the point right now, it's like we borrow money from countries that do not agree with our moral and ethic standards of the United States of America. We have over $1 trillion in debt with Japan and China right now. Now, Japan is an ally. Don't get me wrong, they're an ally. But remember, at one point they were not an ally. We fought a world war against Japan. Now we buy their TVs and their cars. Now, Donald Trump does make a good point. We've taken millions of their cars, their TVs, all of that stuff, but we fought a war against them. We won the war, but we're losing the economic war, right? We're losing the economic war. Remember, folks, bombs don't fall typically in wars between major nations. It's economics, credit card processing, currency manipulation, internet, cyber attacks. Bombs don't drop with major countries. Economics is the weapon of choice. And right now we're in an economic downturn, and the government and the mainstream media will not tell you about it. Last night, before we get to the feel-good story of the day, because the people demand the feel-good story, China went down 629 points in their stock market. They're down over 8,000 points from their high. Over 20%, or over 25% down. If you look at your 401k, if you have an international stock fund, you're probably well over 20% down this year. You're like, why is that? Well, it's slowing down. A lot of currency manipulation, a lot of manipulation because these countries out in the Far East are not democracies. So last night, Japan, China was down around 700 points majority of the night in the stock markets. Folks, it's real. It's happening. Listen to the prior shows on blogtalkradio.com/Brower Report for more information. We can't talk about in detail right now, but it's happening all around us. It will continue to happen unless we, the people, say it must stop. So, feel good story tonight because the people demand the feel good story, because we like to have a story at the end of the night where people get a feel good, because we talk about so many serious things on the show during the program. We shared this on Facebook.com/Brower Report. And I want to thank Tyson, our graphic designer, part of the Brower Report family, for doing this for us tonight to bring light to this great feel-good story. Christopher Hine, a Life Scout in Troop 414 in Omaha, Nebraska. He's working on his Eagle project and needs your help. Christopher's project is to build new picnic tables in his first community pool, replace old tables with large composite wood tables that people can sit around, and also make them accessible for wheelchairs and strollers. He found a table design that will not splinter or need painting over time. He can build them with his troop and your help. As of September 28th, when this graphic was designed, he had $2,400 raised, and I think his goal was $2,200. But remember, folks, people like him will go above and beyond. Now, not only this, if you look at the picture, Christopher is in a wheelchair. Christopher is going above and beyond. He's not letting his limitations keep him back. He is willing to go above and beyond and help people. Help people do the right thing. Help people have accessibility to maybe something they didn't have access to before. And he didn't need a government program to do it either. He's like, you know what? I want to make a difference. And Christopher's making a difference. So we encourage you to go to Brower Report page on Facebook. You can look up Brower Report or go to facebook.com/Brower Report. And on the bottom of it has the GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe.com/CHINDEEAGL. Go there, donate as much as you want. Or if you can't donate, share it with people. Share the graphic so people know that there's good people out there that want to make a difference. A lot of these GoFundMes are really awesome. And we will continue to share these type of GoFundMes, because these people are making a difference without the government stepping in. If we, the people, came together and did the right thing, we wouldn't need the government to do all these things for us, because we would do the right thing. Before the war on poverty, guess what we did? We helped each other. And poverty wasn't as bad as it is now. It's that simple, folks. It's that simple. So I want to thank you so much for watching on Periscope, watching us on YouTube after the show, and listening to us on blogtalkradio.com/Brower Report. If you like the show, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Brower Report. Like us on Facebook. Tell us what's on your mind. Message us on Facebook. We have a really tremendous response time during the day. If you look at it, we typically respond within minutes to people that message us and tell us what's going on, what's on their minds. Also, don't forget, BrowerReport.com is your home of news and views that you can use, because we're looking out for you, the American people. And also, if you like the show, you can download us on iTunes. I know, it's amazing. We're on iTunes. So go search out Brower Report iTunes in your search, and you'll see it there. It shows absolutely for free. Download it. Listen to us at work, on the go, in your car, on your Bluetooth, whatever you're listening, you can listen to us on the show. And as always, if you have any suggestions, comments for the show, if you want to hear us maybe on a different format, we will try to accommodate you as much as possible, because we want to make sure you get the news and views that you can use every day when you need it. Remember, folks, we're live Tuesday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This week, Thursday night, we are taking the night off. I have a prior engagement I must go to, unfortunately. So I would not be on the show Thursday night. We might have a fill-in host. Don't know yet. We're still working on that. But we will be live tomorrow night on Wednesday with Bill, co-host Bill. And we may be working on a Friday night live edition. We're still working on the details to see if we can get that done this Friday night as well. So keep informed by going to facebook.com/Brower Report for more information on what we're doing with the Brower Report. Our great graphics, all the information that we're sharing for you, the American people, because you deserve news and views that you can use without the BS of the mainstream media trying to entertain you and make billions of dollars off of you. We want to give it to you straight every time on the show. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow night live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Brower Report. Thanks for watching and listening, and have a great night.